The 2019-2020 athletic year has brought our club many highlights, a number of which we will reflect on at the moment. Unfortunately, the year was rudely interrupted by the arrival of the coronavirus. So this is our backup plan. Max and I and our multimedia specialist David Bod Armstrong have put together a summer summary package for you to view at your leisure during this cooler period. The athletic performances will no doubt warm you up. We've been temperature checked, our backsides are on the X marks, our social distance is in place, hair and makeup had to be cancelled, but we've got our hand wash available if we get too close, Max. Now that we have a newish track, which has been thoroughly tested by the community over the last few months, we have moved on to upgrade our pavilion, which should be finished by mid-July or so. Unfortunately, that means that we won't have any lights available for at least the month of May, maybe a little bit longer. Our performances has held up well for the competitions that did go ahead. The introduction of the club-based AVSL has been received well, and the club performed very well, with the third best Victorian club position, whilst two of our age-based teams cleaned up in the state, namely the men's under 18 and women's under 20. We congratulate them. 44 club records went, and on top of that, one world record. Our overall membership numbers held up pretty well. The 145 AV competing members was just one less compared to a year ago. And our contribution to the sport with our volunteers, officials, and club helpers has been exemplary and excellent. So let's get into the deep end and start our review of the 2019-2020 Diamond Valley Athletics Club summer season. Thank you for connecting to us. We recognize our up-and-comers, stars, celebrate our accomplishments, whether you're a global star or not, dwell on our mishaps and missed opportunities. Even though this review is mostly based on the AVSL competition, DVAC athletes competed in a variety of events during the summer season. Chris Ransey, he ran 2 sub-2:26 marathons, and of note is that of the 250 odd participants, which he was in the position of roughly at the 5K mark, he made up a lot of positions to finish 84th. Tim Logan represented Victoria at the 2019 Australian Half Marathon Championships on the Sunshine Coast and finished in the top 10 and was a member of the winning Victorian team. Maddie Coates made the final in the South Australians-based Sheffield, coming fourth of scratch. And Hannah Duinhoven won the Kilo Gift. Just a few examples of other notable performances by our athletes. With me, as usual, co-host Max, dressed appropriately like a king, who will be sharing the official duties. We'll just need to keep our appropriate distance. We will again work through our program as we do every year by discipline rather than by age. And we'll go sprints, hurdles, jumps, walks, throws, distance, steeple, and other awards. At the end of the regular AVSL season, we finished in third position, having led early on and particularly after a great relays round. The medal winnings this year a bit slimmer, obviously because of the coronavirus outbreak. A number of championships were not held. We held up pretty well. But the COVID-19 drew a line through many aspirations, but we're still very proud of our performances that did go ahead. On top of that, there were also numerous medals won by our dual athletes at the Victorian Little Athletic Championships and all schools. Congratulations to all our athletes, coaches and team managers for a magnificent athletic year. Which leads me to recognize the hard work of our committee, team managers and numerous volunteers. Our club is always experiencing high demands on a limited number of shoulders. More about this a little later. We appreciate your help now and will certainly need it in the future, even if it's just for one simple task. A couple of shout-outs, special shout-outs to a few people that have helped us tremendously during the season, but also to put this event together. Bronwyn Meaden has done all the administration, counted up all the rounds and the points, etc. Her effort has been momentous and terrific, made our life quite easily. Yvette Fitzpatrick, taking all the photos during the period. Hopefully that will enrich this presentation also. Greg Luck, extraordinary team manager. David, always setting up the tent. Lynn, doing everything else. Great pleasure to work with those people. Not to forget our sponsors, OHL, Mitra 10, Running Coach Academy and Leo Russell for their support this year. So we'll start with the Sprints Awards. In this section, we recognize the athletes in the 100, 200 and 400 meter sprints. We'll use the same format. We'll list the Shield performances and winners. We might mention any title winners and we'll move on to either record breakers or the club champion. So we'll kick off with the sprints. Max, how did we go in the sprints?
Well, I think the sprint division has held up very well in the past season, and a big thank you to the coaches and to the parents who deliver these wonderful athletes each and every week. But the winners in the various age groups over the Shield season, for sprinting we have Katie Oliver, women's under 14, Ryan Scott, men's under 14, Jessica Fitzpatrick, women's under 16, Jonty DeCarter took out the men's under 16 sprint award, Keely Boyne, women under 18, Elton Carr, men under 18, Isabel Long, women under 20, Fraser Jones, men under 20, Cyrus Wong, men open, Michelle King, women's 40, and Luke DiBiase, men 40 plus. Now, our club champion overall in the sprints division this year is Isabel Long. Isabel honed her sprinting skills throughout the season with the main goal of assisting in her pet event, the 400 hurdles. Isabel, who travels from Mulwala, New South Wales, to compete for the Valley, did not commence her track season until round 5.
Where did she travel from, Max?
Mulwala. And she waited until her Year 12 studies were complete. She hit top form on her second outing, setting a new under 19-20 DVAC record for the 400 metres with a time of 63.07. At the 2020 Victorian Track and Field Championships, Isabel finished second in the final of the women's under 20 200 metre in a season best time of 25.83.
And just to remind everybody, you are eligible for these awards if you have competed 3 or more times during the season. So it might be that you've only rocked up once or twice, miss out. Shame. Next, hurdles. And in this section we recognize athletes on the 1, 2 and 400 meter hurdles. Max, how did we go in the hurdles? Not too many made it to the dais, I don't
Positions vacant. We have room for more hurdlers at Diamond Valley, let it be known. But what we do have is outstanding. Keely Boyne won the women's under 18 over the Shield season. She competed in 7 rounds. Isabel Long, in 5 rounds, took out the women's under 20 award for hurdles, and in the men's 40 plus, guess who? Luke DVAC, champion hurdler. But in titles, we have 2 title winners. Keely Boyne won the women's under-20 100-metre hurdles. Isabel Long took out the under-20 400 hurdles in 64.34 at the Vic Track and Field Championships.
So
well done to both.
Who's won the club award?
Oh, I knew you'd ask me.
I'm wondering how you figured that one out.
It is a super hard one, but in the end it went to Keely Boyne.
Oh.
Keely had an outstanding summer of sprints and hurdles. In June 2019, Keely represented Australia at the Oceania Athletics Championships, where she won silver in the 100-metre hurdles. Keely continued her great record at the Victorian Championships by winning in the under-20 100-metre hurdles in 14.74. Congratulations, Keely.
Our next awards are the jumps. And this recognises athletes in the horizontal as well as the vertical jumps. There was good pickings there, Max.
Well, we do have a depth of talent in the jumps. Unfortunately, one of our star jumpers, Bay Agostini, spent much of the year on sidelines. So we wish him speedy recovery for next summer and look forward to his comeback. But in the Shield age groups, Tara Smith, women's under 14, Ryan Scott, men under 14, Charlie Mayrig, women's under 16, Alicia Kenshall, women's under 18, Joshua Scott, men under 18, Cassandra Schnars, women under 20, Blake Barnes, Mr. Versatility, men under 20, Jasmine Keppel, women open, Lawrence Schubert, men open, Glennis Schubert, women's 40 plus, and Luke DiBiase, men's 40 plus.
Were there any Victorian champions?
Well, we did have a title winner with Alicia Kenshall, a lazy 4 metres 17, to set a new Victorian record. Just a fantastic jump. Alicia started that competition struggling to get over the starting height. She is a clutch jumper. Every time it was on the third and final effort, Alicia made it and went all the way to 4:17. So she is our title winner in the women's under 18 pole vault. And club champion overall?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, you're right. Alicia Kenshall. Alicia had a remarkable season of athletics, highlighted by her world-leading pole vault clearance over 4:17 at the Vic Champs. Alicia had gone into the season with a PB of 4 metres and slowly climbed up the height like an elevator going up. 4:7, 4:10, 4:17. Alicia had booked her ticket to compete at the 2020 IAAF World Under-20 Championships to be held at Nairobi, Kenya. What could go wrong?
Hear, hear.
Alicia is the overall winner for the jumps.
Right, that makes us move on to the walks. In this section, we recognise athletes in the walks. There weren't too many in the age groups that competed in the walks, a mere 3 or so.
Bernie Keel, I think, needs to recruit, and Karen Quinn. But we did have one junior coming through from Littles and full of promise. Madison Nash won the Women's Under 14 award, and she comes from that Littles squad, I think coached by Colin Holmes.
Colin Holmes, yes.
So there's potential depth of talent coming there, but we hope in the next season. Karen Quinn improved with every outing and took out the Women's 40 Plus Walks award for Shield. Bernie Keel never gives anything but his super best, and he won the Men's 40 Plus Walks award.
So who did you give the club champion award to?
sorry, Bernie, I went for the up-and-comer, Madison Nash. Madison, 13, is the DVAC's youngest club champion. She's developed her talent for the walks events through Littles and blossomed over the past season. She competed regularly at the Shield meets and has built her endurance range from 1,500 metres to 3,000 metre walks. She finished 5th place in the final of the Women's Under 14 3,000 metre walk at the 2020 Vic Track and Field Champs.
That moves us to the throws section, where we recognise athletes that can chuck it as far as they can in events like discus, hammer, javelin, and their own weight. How did they go in the various age groups, Max?
Well, this could be called the Andrew Sterling Award. Because they largely come from the Andrew Sterling stable. And to start off with, for the Shield Awards, Victoria Meaden, she threw a hammer 29 metres to set a new club record throughout the season. But Seth Hill, a new member, only competed in the last 3 or 4 rounds, but showed plenty of talent with the shot put. Men under 14 champion. Jessica Fitzpatrick, women under 16. Women under 18 for the throws. How did this name get in here? Alicia Kenshaw. Is that girl capable of doing anything?
Can't be right.
Calvin Meaden, men under 18. Alexandra Mills had the best season she has ever had with our club and rightfully took out the Women Under 20 award. Blake Barnes, how did he get there? He's a distance runner, but he took out the Throws Award for the Men Under 20. Emma Butler, you would expect to be back at her best action with the javelin and certainly showed plenty of talent there. Women are Open Award, Lawrence Schubert, Men Open Award, Annie Rowe, a real champion, took out Women's 40 plus, and Luke DiBiase, again, Men's 40 plus award. We had one title winner, Ryan Blair. He won the Men Under 18 shot put with a distance of 14.11, and that was at the Victorian Track and Field Champs in February. We didn't realise how valuable that championship would be. But that's the throws. The club champion, though, went to, I think I might have missed Calvin Meaden in the men's 18, but he also doubled up as club champion, and that was a hard one to pick. Calvin maintained a high standard of performance right across the disciplines in the throws. This was highlighted at the 2020 Vic Champs, where he finished 2nd in the discus, 43 metres, 3rd in the javelin, 42, 3rd in the shot put, 12.91, and 4th in the hammer throw, 46.55. Calvin's discus throw of 43.06 established a new club record for the men under 19 and under 20. Great season, Calvin.
That moves us to the section of distance and steeple, where we recognise athletes in the 800 metres and above, i.e. 800, 1500, as well as longer track races, including the steeplechase. And we also have a special award for our 1500 metre runners. There's a long list there, Max, and that's because we do usually split middle and long and steeple out because we've got a lot of athletes competing in these different sections. So I'll just hold my breath for a second, and why don't you run through the Shield winners?
Okay, the Shield winners, women under 14 middle distance, Ali Brooks. Women under 14 long distance, Matilda Lestrange. Men under 14 middle distance, Cameron Ellis. Women under 16 middle distance, Charlie Mayrick. Women under 16 steeple, Elsie Clifford. Men under 16 middle distance, Kane Marriott. Men under 16 distance and steeple, Flynn Connolly. Women under 18 middle distance and steeple, Charlotte Holmes. Men under 18 middle distance, Jared Cripps. Men under 18 long distance, Caden Murray. Women under 20 middle distance, Amy Cripps. Men under 20 middle distance, Fraser Jones. Men under 20 long distance and steeple, Blake Barnes. Women open, middle distance and distance, Jessie Main. Men open, middle distance and distance, Dylan Littlejohn. Men open, steeple, Damien Cusack. Women 40 plus, middle distance and distance, Marianne Murray. Men 40 plus, middle distance, Cameron Simon. And what's this name here? Men 40 plus, long distance, I've got Rob Wendell.
Oh, can't be right.
Oh, this is a remarkable, well done, Rob. Men 40 plus, steeple, Scott Barnes.
Excellent. Now, this year, or last year I should say, we introduced a new award for the 1500 meters, a very special award called the Alan Fury Award. So this is the Alan Fury Award. It's an award for an athlete who performed best in their heats in the 1500 meter during the sealed season. No matter what heat you were in, points were to be won between 1 and 10, depending on how well you were positioned at the finish. So this award is sponsored by Alan Fury, a former Diamond Valley athlete. Points, if you start, are 1 point up to, if you finish 6, 1 point. If you finished first, 10 points. Based on this method, the runners-up were Ellie Brooks and Charlotte Holmes, both with 12 points. And the winner with 16 points is Cameron Simon. We'll move on to the distance. Cameron Simon has won the Club Distance Award. Round 5. Having recently moved into the men's 45-49 age category, immediately made his mark by claiming the 800 meter record in 2:04.2, breaking the previous club record of 2:05.5. In round 6, he set a new club record in the M45, 1500 meters with a run of 4:21.1. In round 10, had another 500 plus point score for his run in the 800 meters. At the Box Hill Classic, he added the 45-49 age group record to the 40-44 club record he already holds. He finished the 800 in 2:03.62, breaking the existing record by Anthony Milovac in 2002. And who can't remember Anthony Milovac? At the Vic Country Champs, he won 3 events, the 800, 1500 and 400 meter hurdles, claiming the Diamond Valley club record for the 400 meter hurdles with a time of 63.77. Finishing off in round 12, he claimed the Diamond Valley club record for 45.49 with a typically courageous run that was clocked at 4:15.7. How did we go in the steeple?
Well, another up-and-comer, Flynn Connolly. Flynn had an idea. How cool would it be to go to the 2020 National Championships in Sydney in March 2020? He chose his event, the steeplechase. In round 1 of the AVSL season, Flynn lined up for the under-16 2,000 metre steeplechase, knowing that the qualifying time of 7 minutes. He was on a mission. Flynn crossed the line in 6:52.1. He'd qualified. How easy was that? Only problem was that Flynn had overlooked 3 things. Firstly, the qualifying time he was working from was the old one, and the new standards would see the required time lowered to 6:50. Secondly, by the time the 2020 championships came around, he'd be 16, and so subject to the under 17-18 standards. The time set for that was 6:50, but also the height went up from 76 to 84 centimetres. Oh yes, he also broke his collarbone in a bike accident shortly after round 1 in the backyard. Surgery, pins and much discomfort for an aspiring steeplechaser. Flynn Connolly is nothing if not resilient. He set about addressing the new challenges in a determined and resolute manner. By round 12 of the AVSL season, he'd mastered the new height and got down to 654.4. The 2020 Vic Champs would be the final chance for Flynn to achieve his dream. Flynn ran his heart out that day and crossed the line in 6:49.07. Mission accomplished. Now for Sydney. What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Flynn Connolly is the Steeplechase Award winner.
Right, we recognise those that provide support to our club and the sport in general. Those people who come in, day out, and provide their time for the benefit of athletes and the sport. Those who teach us technique and how to be better at everything we do. Those who keep us on the short and narrow and ensure records get recognised, and those who, without no shield round, would be held, i.e. club helpers. Starting off with our coaches. We sincerely appreciate the work coaches do. Paid or unpaid, you are an integral part of a positive and smooth running club, and especially improving athletes both on and off the track. The club and Diamond Valley Athletics Club and Liddles are coordinating coaching across both DVAC and DVLAC by holding cross-club coaches meetings and see how we can get the best outcome for an athlete. We've also updated our coaches' profiles online, allowing for prospect athletes and or parents to have a clear view of our coaching squad. The fully accredited coaching staff this year consisted of Max Bolchin, Lynn Davis, ably assisted by Cyril Dixon and Matthew Thompson, John Bowes, Chris Boyne, Chris Brennan, Bill Giorgantas, Matthew Hall, Rod Kelly, don't ask me to repeat that again, Terry Nape, Brett Malecki, Maureen Reynolds, Scott Rousseau, Paul Schofield, Andrew Sterling, Amber Vincent and Colin Walker. How about our officials, Max? Or shall I just roll on?
I think Diamond Valley can be proud of the team of officials that now represent our club each and every Saturday.
Let's recognise at least one of them, and we might include that in our future awards. Next are our officials. Athletics Victoria is well aware of the role of the official and the constraints it places on competition when they're not enough. We are being asked to contribute more, but I can tell you that DVAC is pulling her weight extremely well. Two of our officials, Andrew Sterling and Stuart Snares, were picked to officiate at the National Championship some time ago, a clear recognition for their skills and experience. The club supplied 11 officials at the past Shield season, and we thank them. David Armstrong, Jane Laycock, Bronwyn Meaden, Andrew and Diane Sterling, Les Wright, Jeff Hughes, Stuart Snares, Terry Nape, Matthew Hall, John Leung and Paul Schofield. Thank you. From now on, each year we'll recognise a particular official that served the club and Athletics Victoria well. And this year that'll be Stuart Snares. And finally, where would we be without our club helpers? Where indeed, Max? Where would we be?
Nowhere, because every Saturday we get screamed at if we're not providing our team of club helpers. And I have to say, the willingness to come forth and help out has really been a welcome advent this season. It's been fantastic. And
it not only provides an invaluable service, doesn't it? But there is also a financial award the club gets as a result of putting in and ensuring that our quota is always filled by a reduction in the annual fees. So from now on, we will also pick a particular club helper that has done over and above, beyond what we would expect in the past Shield season. So a number of DVAC club helpers had a big go. They must have felt this was coming, trying to pick this year's inaugural club helper of the summer season award. David Armstrong, Sarah Gittins, Rob, Pauline Marino and Connie Scott, remember that name, helped out at least 5 times. That's according to our records. I could not be entirely correct, but Marianne Cyril Dixon pushed the envelope with 6 times. Even Max and Lynn had a big go with each 8 and 9 times of assistance, but they are the record keepers, so they are disqualified. This year's volunteer of the summer season is Adam Scott.
Well done, Adam.
And thank you. That moves us to Shield champions. But first of all, we'll just pick out by age group who has performed the best right across each of the disciplines. Tara Smith, women's under 14. Incredible number of points, participated 9 rounds, did a lot of events. Ryan Scott for men's under 14. Women's under 16 this year goes to Jessica Fitzpatrick. Men's under 16 to our steepler, Flynn Connolly. Women's under 18, Keely Boyne. Men's under 18, Kelvin Meaden. Women's under 20, got a special mention by Max, Alexandra Mills. Men's under 20, Fraser Jones. Women's Open, Jasmine Keppel. Men's Open, and what event didn't he do? Cyrus Wong. Women's 40 plus, Marianne Murray. Men's 40 plus, another shoe-in, Luc DiBiase. And just to put it in light, he had 14,000 points at the end of the Shield season if we add up all of his performances across all disciplines.
And I believe there was a period of the season where he was injured too.
That's right. Tara Smith, though, our youngster and women's under 14 winner, had more than 11,000 points and ranks second in the total number of points earned. So well done to her. Now, 2 Diamond Valley teams finished the round robin part of the AVSL competition on top of the age group tables, Max.
The state age group ladders coexisted with the AVSL competition. Let me just backtrack a little bit here. We saw the introduction of the Shield League competition. Under this model, all Victorian athletic clubs were graded and placed in one of 5 divisions. The Diamond Valley Athletic Club was one of the 10 clubs allocated to the Premier Division on the basis of past performances. The competition was based on a promotion-relegation system so that each division would be evenly graded. Now, every athlete in the club, from under 14 newbie to the 40-plus veteran, would be scoring points for the good of our club. So you need people to be turning out each week if you're going to help the club. Let me just tell you of a few club stalwarts. Competing in 10 rounds out of the 12, we had Jared Cripps, Luc DiBiase, Jessica Fitzpatrick, William Gittins, Fraser Jones, Dylan Littlejohn, Calvin Meaden, Alexandra Mills, Marianne Murray, Tara Smith, Rob Wendell, Lucas Wilson, Adam Scott, Joshua Scott, and Ryan Scott. He had no choice. He was in the car. So 11 rounds though. Greg Luck, Victoria Meaden, and who would it be that has competed in all 12 rounds? Cyrus Wong. Well done, Cyrus. The Diamond Valley Athletic Club finished the season in 3rd position on the Premier League. We made the playoffs, where we finished behind the top 2 clubs, Essendon and Glen Hutley. The season has been an undoubted success for the Valley and one that all members can take pride in. The Diamond Valley Athletic Club had 2 age group teams finish on top of the ladder across the state by the end of round 12. While AV make no awards for these achievements, and that is a debate to be had for future seasons, our club can rightfully celebrate their achievements. Congratulations to the 2 winning teams women's under 20 and men under 18. Women's under 20 had 8 athletes, maybe only 8, but with the talent to cover all disciplines and a commitment to the sport. The team had kept Amy Cripps, Alexandra Mills and Emma Butler from the previous season where they finished second at the Shield finals. Bring up Lucinda Derrett, Ruby Dixon, Tiana McPherson, Cassandra Snars and Isabel Long from the under 18 and you've got a cracking team. The DVAC girls were competing against 20 other teams and still managed to win 7 of the 12 rounds. Their one blip came in round 8 where they finished in 8th place for the round. At the end of 12 rounds of competition, the Diamond Valley women had amassed 29,000 points to their nearest rival, Melbourne University, on 19,000. That's a comprehensive victory by the women's under 20.
Well done to Melbourne Uni.
Yes.
Right? You made that sound terrible.
The men's under 18 team, going back a season, they'd won the men's under 18 at the Shield finals the previous year. So if you carry over some of that talent and build on to it, you've got a great team. And this was a team laden with talent across all disciplines that were ready to rock. And it was a super competitive pool of talent in the under 18. There were 36 other teams. And the Diamond Valley men's won 4 of the 12 rounds, came second twice. When they won, they stacked up the points. In round 4, the boys totalled 13,000 points and their arch rival Essendon came second on 6,000. The very next round, round 5, saw Diamond Valley place 10th. They'd gone into ISO ahead of time. In the finish, the Diamond Valley men had under 18 won the age group with a season with a total of 75,000 points. And yes, Essendon came second with 60,000 points.
Oh, that was a good one.
Now, just finalising, the other Valley teams on the state age group ladders, just running through, the women under 14 finished second. Can I just say that this team finished second in the winter season to Keele or St Bernard, and they finished second to South Bendigo here. It's their turn to come first. The men's 40 plus finished 5th. Greg Luck will be working feverishly on this for next season because previously they'd won 4 out of 5 years. Women's 40 plus, 9th out of 38 teams. Men under 20, 9th out of 37 teams. Women Open, 13th out of 45 teams. Women under 16, 16th out of 40 teams. Women under 18, 20th out of 40 teams. Men under 14, 20th out of 36. Men Open, 21st out of 49. And men under 16, 33rd out of 43 teams. And that is the team summary, Rob.
Excellent. That leaves us with a couple of awards to go. First one, the Para Award. Have a guess. Jared Clifford has won the 100-meter final at the 2019 World Para Athletic Championships in Dubai and did so in a world record time of 3:47.78. In a thrilling race, Jared trailed Anton Kuliatin from Russia through the early stages of the race, never allowing a gap to open up to any considerable margin. At the end of the final lap, he made a decisive move to take the lead and increase the pace. At first it seemed that he had opened up a conclusive winning margin, but that taller Russian proved that he would fight it out till the end in the final stages.
He was not going away.
He was not going to go away. He mounted a number of challenges. And Jared had to draw on all of his resources to hold all of those challenges off. And in the finish, he was able to cross the line 0.13 second ahead of his rival. I might add that the final 400 meters was in 56 seconds. Jared said after, that was bloody hard. I thought I might have gone too early. Jared's achievement at Dubai was even made more difficult when he had all his racing gear pinched, including his special racing goggles, stolen from a car parked outside the track at Barcelona, why not there, only days before his race. Clearly, Jared was referring to his missing race goggles with his gesture on the starting line. He won his second gold medal by winning the T13 5K championship to add to the 1500 title that he won on the first day. He lined up against 12 other runners, having experienced difficulty with his vision in longer races before. He chose to use the assistance of guiding for this event, and he was guided by a couple of people. His coach, Mad Philo Saunders, for the first half of the race, before his friend and training partner Tim Logan took over. The use of a guide for the 5K at Dubai is part of the plan. Now the plan unfortunately got rudely interrupted, but hopefully there'll be a retake next year.
This is in Tokyo.
This would be in Tokyo.
Yep.
The race saw the field travel in a tight pack for the first half of the race, with Jared always alert and making moves to stay close to the lead throughout the race. With 5 laps to go, the lead pack was down to 8 runners, and Jared, now guided by Tim, was still very well placed. Coming off the bell in the final lap, Jared made a move to take the lead. Audadi El Atabi of Spain reacted quickly to surge past Jared for the first time in front of the field. With only 250 to go, Jared retook the lead, and he was never headed from there. By the time he crossed the line in 14:40, he was the undisputed dual world champion. But there's more. The wingman is among the most valiant humanitarians to grace the planet. He's the conqueror of synchronized footsteps, the facilitator of mammalian partnership, the holder of the tiniest rope, which he also lost, between master and enabler, and the purveyor of race tactics, long causing his comrades sleepless nights to remember. I believe the guide whispered in Jared's ear, "You've got this." The truly gifted wingman is a rare specimen. His pursuit is entirely selfless. It involves no personal incentive, no immediate reward, no title, yet is the master in the art of guiding through the guide's incognito and yields results only on behalf of the master of both the 1500 and 5000 meters. He's Maverick's Goose, Batman's Robin, Maxwell Smart's 99. All hail to the wingman, and he'll share this year's Power Award with his good mate. The Power Award goes to Jared and Tim.
Well done.
Finally, the DVAC President's Award. And how can you bypass what we just went through? Now, the President's Award this year goes to Jared Clifford. Up to now, he's been the best performing Diamond Valley athlete ever. Yet, he's as humble as ever and freely shares and gives his time to everyone. I can't wait for the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, and I bloody well hope they will go ahead. To carry him after hard training, to carry him through now, a bit of hard training and delayed Olympics, he's found his love for running again by lighting up his entire total local suburb, on Strava with a lazy 50k plus run. Who says he's a middle distance runner? And that concludes our ceremony for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully next year we can do it together again.
Thank you, Rob.